dust storm, man. Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all the sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
So here we are on day 72, out here on the lookout for a Boba Fett trailer. All's quiet out here. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe. Of course, with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey, Doug, how you doing this week?
Doing pretty good, Joe. How you doing?
Not bad.
Keeping track?
No, I just picked a number. I'm not going to lie.
Aha.
But, yeah, it feels like it. Feels
Yes.
like 72 days.
It certainly does. Yes, it does.
We got that poster art, and it's got to be a few weeks back now, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I just, like, wow. Just quiet. We thought that artwork release was like, oh, it's coming.
Exactly. Yeah, like anytime, any day now. Yeah.
And it's really funny. It's really funny looking through Star Wars news right now and things like that. Like, it's so sparse. And we're not used to it anymore, right? We're so used to Star Wars news coming so fast anymore.
Yeah.
Really, ever since the Disney acquisition, that we don't know what to do. No one knows what to do. People are reporting that George Lucas is going to a race.
Yes. This is Star Wars news now. Yes.
Yep. George Lucas attends the Formula One race in Austin, Texas. Like, so?
Exactly. Yeah. This is what we call a weekend for George. That's
Yep. It's like, so he has a life. Wow.
Yep. Oh, I love it. It's so true.
It's good. It's good to see that he's handling retirement well.
Right.
Doing stuff like going to a Formula One race.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of his jam right there.
I mean, yeah, and he remembers back when they used to be entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. I like racing too. Just not that kind of racing.
Gosh, just too many rules now. Like, everything's a penalty anymore.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's like you got to watch cars pull over all the time and let cars go by. It's like he cut the course. I'm like, it was like one wheel over the line. And going up over that bump, if anything, that hurt him. Like, what? Yeah, nope, make him stop.
That's funny.
You know better than me. Yeah. Anyways, we're not here to talk about Formula One.
That's right.
We're here to talk about Star Wars. So, The Mandalorian, Sasha Banks confirms she will not be returning.
Yeah, I
for
heard
season
this.
3. I find this to be surprising.
For as big of a role as she had in season 2, it's kind of interesting that she's not going to be there.
And when you really think about it, the story that's at hand right now, right? The story that
everyone's assuming is going to happen. Yes.
Yeah. You figure she'd be playing a part in that.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. So I actually did hear a rumor, and I believe this was from Making Star Wars. I don't have it in front of me, so I'm just going to paraphrase, but that the rumor is that there were something close to 75 Mandalorian cosplayers and actors on the set, for like some sort of big Mandalorian battle. So
Really?
Yeah. So just like they did with the Stormtroopers, had the cosplayers come in and stuff.
They called out the Mando mercs.
Yep, exactly. So, and as I understand it, they had them like, switching out pieces of their armor and stuff, to make it work. And, it's like, if there's going to be something that big happening in the Mandoverse, why wouldn't Sasha Banks be involved,
I have no idea.
Because
And I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this big, massive gathering of Mandalorians for some sort of battle or something it sounds like pipe dream stuff to me.
does it?
And it sounds like, yeah, it really does.
Okay.
I don't know if they're really going to go there. It doesn't sound like there's just that big of a, Mandalorian presence out there right now that you would need to go all out and bring in a bunch of people.
Well, I mean, the way that I could see it being done is if there's more, Mandos in hiding, like the group that Din Djarin was with,
Well, I'm sure there is.
So if you got enough of those groups out there, and they all...
Yeah, but what calls all the groups together to get into a big fight?
Din Djarin, the one holding the Darksaber.
Okay.
I who knows? I mean, you asked.
Yeah, I know.
It's just a matter of, of what the purpose would be, right? Why would he call them all together, and do they follow him just because he's got that,
Right. I wonder if season 3 would be too soon for something like that. And the only reason I mention that is because you've only introduced what is presumably 2 cells of Mandalorians. And to just all of a sudden have like this rallying call to a bunch of others, it's like, that doesn't really fit. You'd almost have to have it drawn out a little bit and have him interact with some other groups beforehand.
I see what you're saying. I just don't know. I mean, it's a Mandalorian thing. He's got the Darksaber. He's the one right now. So that's just my guess. I don't know.
I mean, if it is true, I mean, this is genius for keeping the budget down for TV, right? We just get volunteers.
That's the thing is, it's Star Wars, so people will volunteer. I know that. I mean, we all say it. We would all get involved if we could.
Yeah. SAG's losing their minds, but
yeah, well, I think that is true to form with Star Wars. I mean, George kind of bucked the whole Hollywood system from the get-go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, there were a lot of companies that ended up looking down at the contracts and stuff after the fact. After a couple years, going, how did we let him do this?
Exactly.
Like who's responsible for this contract? Bring him in here. You're fired. You lost us billions of dollars.
Right.
I mean, the merchandising thing is the biggest one, right? Like
it is. Yeah.
Like musicians can't even own their song, and George Lucas walked away with all the merchandising rights.
I know. Yeah. Rock stars can't sell a T-shirt. And
right.
Oh, so sad, but so true.
Yep. All right. Well, okay. I guess we can keep it with Disney Plus a little bit. So Disney Plus Day is coming up.
Yeah.
It's a day now.
It is. I mean, I gotta say, it's kind of interesting to me because they seem to be working on this. What would you call it? It's a way of marketing, right? I mean, you look at things like Netflix and stuff like that, maybe Amazon. It's like, how do you know when the new shows are coming out? You know,
Right.
you really don't, unless you read it somewhere or, you know, see it advertised somehow, you know, traditional advertising. And this appears to be a new way of doing things here.
Yeah. I think Disney's just wondering why they don't have a federal holiday.
Yeah.
And they're just, you know, seeding that, right? Like,
Yes.
come on, we're Disney.
Yes. Yes, we should have this.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're just wondering why, like, come on, we're Disney.
Right. They're making it up their own on their own. That's
That's what they do.
so true.
So, with Disney Plus Day, there's going to be a slew of new content, right?
Right.
There's going to be Marvel. There's going to be Disney's Jungle Cruise. Whatever Home Sweet Home Alone is. Is that the new Home Alone, or is it a joke about how Spider-Man has home in all the movie titles? Like,
I don't know.
like, hey, we're for Spider-Man. We had Homecoming. We had Far From Home.
Right.
Let's go Home Sweet Home Alone. Let's put 2 homes in there. Let's up the ante.
Yes. Makes it homier.
So some new Simpsons.
Right.
And then you get down here and you got Star Wars special look and Marvel special look.
Yes.
So
What do you think?
Star Wars special look. Could this be it?
Oh, I think this is gonna be. Yes, I think this is it. I think this is what we're waiting for, and
so my question is this: is it going to be a trailer,
yes,
or is it going to be another one of those like behind the scenes, first look?
Yes. That's my opinion. I think it's going to be all of the above there, because I think they are looking at this as a whole new way of marketing their stuff. They've got this platform, this streaming platform. Why not use it to let's
Yeah, I mean, this is great. They're doing that, but everybody's going to watch it on YouTube.
Watch what on YouTube?
The trailer.
Well, probably. But if you want to be the first one to see it, you got to watch it on Disney Plus. You know how that goes.
Yeah, if you want to be 15 minutes ahead of everyone else.
That's right. And everybody does. You know that.
Oh, I know. I joke like I've never stood in line at midnight to buy a toy.
Exactly.
Hey, man, they said Grand Admiral Thrawn Black Series is like,
I'm there.
Oh, yeah. I'm going out at midnight. I'm missing work tomorrow.
Yep.
Hey, I got the figure. Worth it.
Right.
Yeah, here I was thinking I was going to be like the only one at Walmart at midnight.
Yeah.
There's it was smaller than, like going to a Star Wars event, like a movie,
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, there's like 25 other people here. And somehow I'm in front.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That was good.
Yeah, I showed up like 35 minutes before midnight.
That's not bad.
And I was like second in line. Like,
dang.
But yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. People will flock to Disney Plus to see it first, to see it 15 minutes earlier than everyone else.
That's right.
And although it may be longer. It does seem like Disney's gotten good at scrubbing YouTube.
Oh, sure. I mean, let's see who can afford more lawyers, Disney or Google. I mean, that's basically what it boils down to. Like, hey, get that off of there.
Yep. I mean, they got the money to say, just send it over in advance and say, hey, the algo picks this up.
Right.
It's gone.
It's true. They all play ball with each other like that.
Yeah. That's. Let that one go.
Yeah. We could get into a deep non-Star Wars corporate rant, so let's not.
But I mean, okay, so now my question is this: are they going to run the risk of dragging things out too long?
So that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, it appears as though they've consolidated all of their what's new and upcoming marketing, right, into one thing here. And I'm not sure that's the best way to go about doing it. I'm thinking, why not trickle this stuff out? Because, you could keep people coming back to Disney Plus. I understand it's easy. We got one date. Come check it all out. But why not? Okay, so here we got the Disney stuff, we got the Star Wars stuff, we got the Marvel stuff. Do it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I just don't see where it's going to help. Running
think the presentation will be, because they got the Marvel, the Disney, and the Star Wars sections on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So if they do separate this out as such, like you go to the Star Wars section and here's the Star Wars stuff for Disney Plus Day, and you go to the Marvel section and here's the Marvel stuff for Disney Plus Day, I think that will be better. I mean, I'm sure it'll still be on the front page, but
right.
The mistake would be is if it's only on the front page and it's not like front and center when you hit the Star Wars tab, and it's not front and center when you hit the Marvel tab,
right?
And separate it out as such. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to bunch everything into one day, I think you're running the risk of some content getting overlooked. Now, that's probably not going to be the case with big hitters like Star Wars and Marvel.
Right.
But I mean, and like The Simpsons is going to get, added attention. Anything with Olaf in it's going to get some attention because it's going to be like Olaf, right? Like,
yes, of course.
But I mean, Jungle Cruise, is this going to see a little bit of a hit because of the bulk of content?
See, I got a feeling that if you put all the Disney content together, you would get, because there are fans of Disney like there are fans of Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. I understand.
You know what I'm saying? I think you would draw each of those categories if they had if they each had their own release of these previews. Right. That's where I'm coming from. I don't know. I think that would help things like the Jungle Cruise.
It's not just the previews though. It's the larger content being mixed in with the previews and the, other special looks like this Legacy of Boba Fett thing. Like, at what point do people disconnect, right? The people who would maybe see all of it, a fan of everything, right?
Yeah.
At what point do they throw in the towel like, okay, I've done enough?
Right.
And those are eyes that you would have normally had, but because of the bulk, didn't get to everything.
Exactly. Yeah, I see where you're coming from, for sure.
And the only reason this comes to mind is because we are getting exceptionally close to the Book of Boba Fett
Yes.
without a trailer. And I understand that, like, okay, we're not like entitled to a trailer or nothing, right? Like,
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, we are all looking forward to this, and at some point,
we like getting hyped, right?
yeah, they're gonna have to do something here, right? Otherwise, people are just gonna be like, yeah, okay, I mean, I don't know. It's not like they're not gonna watch, but I mean, it's I don't know. If you're going to market a show, let's market it.
I mean, maybe this is just another angle of keeping the television costs down, right? Like, it's not.
I guess
It's not a feature film. You're not going to see trailers like you would for a feature film.
Yeah, I don't know. That would seem odd to me, but
I mean, there's plenty of TV shows out there that no one watched, but there were 5 trailers for. So,
oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
All right. So here's another example of reaching for Star Wars news.
Okay.
Okay. The headline reads, Mike Flanagan wants to make a Star Wars horror movie.
Okay.
Okay. Here's his tweet. Got woken up by the earthquake this morning, sat there for a few minutes just thinking, I'd really love to make a horror movie in the Star Wars universe.
Earthquakes do funny things to people.
Yep. Don't they say there's a kind of delirium that sets in?
It's possible, yeah. Something like that. Makes sense. I buy it.
I mean, you just rattled your brain, right? Like,
exactly.
It's like when you indulge too much and you're like, you know what'd be great?
Yes, exactly. That's when you come up with your best ideas, right?
I got a great idea, man. You know what would be awesome? Zombie stormtroopers.
Yes. I have an excellent idea. I just can't remember what it was.
We'll call it Death Troopers. No one would ever see that coming.
Right. I love it.
I don't know. Let's just think for a second. Star Wars horror. What do you think?
What do I think?
Is this something you would be interested in seeing?
Oh, I'd watch it.
That's not what I asked.
I know. I just wanted to put that out there. I would watch it. I don't know if it's necessarily what Star Wars is all about. You know what I mean?
Okay, I mean, I understand that. Like,
yeah, that's
I just don't know. Like,
and that might be kind of a cop-out answer. I don't know, but
yeah, a little bit.
It's.
But I think I understand what you're saying. Like Star Wars is Star Wars because of its mood, right? Its tone. It's serious yet light. It's for kids.
It's for kids and adults like it too. Yes.
Yeah. And we've always talked about that danger of Star Wars getting too adult, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Now, I know there's a large, swath of fandom that is clamoring for that rated R Star Wars film, right?
Yeah, that'd be dumb.
They want to see limbs, being cut off and like.
That is something that, in my opinion, Star Wars doesn't need, because, it is done very well telling good stories without all of that.
And even when they do have moments where there's limbs being cut off, things like that, it's done. It's weird to say it like this, like in a tasteful manner.
In the most tasteful manner possible. Absolutely.
Yeah. As tasteful as it can get for, cutting off limbs.
Right.
Like it's really weird. Like it really looks like a fake hand the second it leaves the body, right?
Oh, sure.
Like it's like it got cut, looks like a mannequin hand.
Yep.
And the person that's clutching their missing hand, it looks like their hand is just in a sleeve that's hiding. Their arm is now like, 6 inches longer.
Yes. That's absolutely true. And I love it.
Yeah, I've always thought that like excessive violence or brutality in Star Wars is unnecessary and shouldn't happen.
Right.
I mean, I was even taken aback a little bit in The Force Awakens when there was blood.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not the first time we've seen blood in Star Wars, but
No, but it was the first time that it was the center of your attention.
yes. Yeah, for sure.
Because it really stood out when that guy was giving Finn the mark of Saruman, right? Like,
is that what he was doing?
that's what it looked like.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You think the Lord of the Rings is boring, so
Yes, I will not apologize.
But yeah, it was the focal point of the scene, right? Blood.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was a little. It didn't really like jar me at all, but like it was like, wow, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
And it hit me right away that was different. That's not something that I'm used to seeing.
Right.
And you almost want to turn and look like, how are the kids reacting to this? Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
like you shouldn't turn into theaters watching the Star Wars movies and the kids got an oh shit look on their face. Like,
Yeah. What Star Wars has always been good at is delivering a sense of adventure.
Yeah.
It's the hero's journey thing, Right. That's what you look for out of Star Wars. It's, there's always conflict and everything, but that's not the focal point of it.
right. It doesn't lack violence.
Right.
Nor should it. I mean, the name is Star Wars, right?
Exactly.
It shouldn't lack violence.
No, for sure.
But I thought George Lucas has proved that you can do violence in a manner that is not off-putting.
Right.
But with film over the years, violence has always been ramped up, right? Like it's pushing it to the next boundary.
Yes.
I mean, this was the success of the Saw series, right?
Sure.
It took violence to a whole nother level.
Yeah. And I gotta say, I have never seen one of them, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yes. So it's just not my cup of tea. I mean,
Right.
it wouldn't bother me, but it just doesn't grab my interest.
Right. But I mean, that was the thing for a while. Technology got better. You can make this stuff look more realistic.
Oh yeah. No doubt.
I mean, video games are the same way, right?
Yeah.
The violence in video games has gotten much more brutal.
Right.
back in the early days of Call of Duty, right? Like when you used your knife, it was just like the knife slashed across the screen and the guy flew back like a stormtrooper, right?
Yes, exactly.
And now, like, you hear the blade sink in and
Yeah.
hear the body flop after. It's like, come on. I understand that you're going for realism, but damn.
Right.
Like, just doing it for doing its sake is not.
That's my thing, right? I just...
There are moments, right? There are moments where gratuitous violence fits, right?
Yes.
When you're watching Saving Private Ryan, they're doing that to put that depth in there because that was a real event, right?
Yeah, a real event.
And,
people lived it, you know?
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's conveying that. And even with what they've done there, that's nothing like what the people that were there were experiencing, right? So, like,
exactly.
Like, I understand there are times for, you know, realistic violence and what I would call gratuitous violence. Because there are moments that warrant it.
Yes. Now, in that case, that even, you know, it's historical, but it was a story, right? Let's be honest about that. All of that moved the story along. You know, it told the story. So that kind of stuff I don't have a problem with, you know. But
well, yeah, because that was important to convey the damage it was doing. It's like just seeing that kind of stuff was doing
yes
to people.
And I guess my thing about this is it's the same, I don't want to say same old, but man, you know, we hear this a lot. You know, let's mash up some other blah 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 with Star Wars. You know, that's what I'm getting out of it. You know.
Yeah. Indiana Jones doesn't have to deal with this crap.
Exactly. You are correct.
I don't know. I think it's, you know, I think the desire to mash up was just the desire to capture the spirit of Star Wars for other stuff, right? Like what's the best way to make this other stuff feel like Star Wars? Let's mash it up with Star Wars, and then you'll think when you watch it the other time, it's just like Star Wars.
Well, okay.
They mashed it up because they're so similar.
Let's be honest about this and take a look at what we just saw. Visions. There were some of those episodes of Visions that were like, it was cool anime. Star Wars, not so sure, right? I mean, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I think that's a much different animal, though, than what we were just talking about.
Yes.
Because, I mean, when you compare, it's apples to oranges when you compare, like, a Marvel Star Wars mashup versus an anime Star Wars mashup.
All I'm saying is...
Because one, you're talking about an art style. The other one, you're talking about, you know, Wolverine fighting a Jedi.
I get it. All I'm saying is, you know, just because you do X, you know, i.e. horror, in the Star Wars universe, doesn't necessarily make it, you know, good Star Wars, as we talk about often, you know.
Right.
I don't know. I'm sure it would be fine. I just don't see the need.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. I feel the same way. Like it. One, having experienced Star Wars horror crossovers already, albeit in, you know, novel form.
Right.
It just wasn't my thing. It just.
Agreed.
You know, the moments where you're trying to make it feel like Star Wars take you out of the horror part of it.
Yes.
And then the parts where you go horror takes you out of the Star Wars part.
Yes. Perfectly said right there. Because it in that novel, Death Troopers that you're talking about, it was exactly that way. right? You're getting into the whole, okay, this is going to be a horror story, and cool, I'm in. Then you have this whole, dare I use the phrase, interlude, but though it was more part of the same story, with, Han, right? And it's like, why? It really served no purpose to drive the story along.
Right.
So
I'm just curious, how many times has Death Troopers come up on this show?
I don't know. It's been more than one, less than 100.
Okay. All right, so we're not excessive yet. That's good.
Right.
Yeah, but I feel the same way. Once they brought Han Solo into it, was actually a little more believable when you stayed with the stormtroopers and the new characters, right?
Right. Yes.
But once you brought in Han Solo, it's like, okay, now we're seeing the clash.
Absolutely.
And I think they could do a Star Wars horror crossover. But what you're going to be dealing with is like a Darksider cult or Sith acolytes.
That's where you could do it. And
someone running across them when they shouldn't be there.
Yes. That's how you could do it right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because that is a horror story taking place inside of Star Wars. Not, I want to make a Star Wars horror movie. It's I know I'm really splitting hairs with all that, the way I'm phrasing it and stuff, but I think it matters, Well,
yeah, I mean, when you do that, you can't bring Luke Skywalker, right? You can't.
Exactly.
Like, that's going to affect how you go about this. Like, I guess they've kind of gone down this road a little bit with the Geonosis stuff in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, a little bit, but it kind of works there.
Because
of the circumstances in the Star Wars universe.
And you're dealing with zombie bugs, right? Like,
right. Yes.
I mean, you were already dealing with bugs, so it was already creepy.
Yes, of course.
Throwing zombie on top of it just didn't really up the creep level that much.
Right.
Because it's already like, ugh, bugs.
Yeah.
So yes, okay. Now that we talk about this is something that could be done.
Right.
But the subject matter is going to be important.
Absolutely.
The character usage is going to be important. Because, I mean, I hate to say it, because existing material just makes it hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all going to matter. That's for sure.
But yeah, I mean, they could definitely play with some, especially like some Darksider cults. Like, you've seen those show up in some novels along the way, and you feel like those could go into horror movie territory. I mean, even in the Clone Wars, when you were dealing with the Night Sisters,
yes,
you could see that, because I mean, there's all that ritualistic stuff, right? Like,
yes. It's
you could make a Halloween movie out of this.
Witches around the cauldron, yes, for sure.
Yeah. But I think you got to be careful with what characters you use.
Yes, you can't bring in some of your main characters anyway to be dealing with this, because it's going to, whenever the main characters have to deal with such a thing, it almost, how do I put it? Lessens what they've gone through in the main films and stuff, right? I don't know what best wording here is, but
right. But
you get what I'm saying?
Like, could you picture Han Solo being terrified?
I don't want to.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's the question you have to ask. Can you picture Han Solo being terrified? Or can you still have a horror film with Han Solo still being the wisecracking guy he is?
I think you could.
I don't think it works as well, though.
It certainly doesn't.
I mean, does, Han's walking into this thing and he says, I've got a bad feeling about this. Does that kind of kill the mood? Because you're thinking about all the times he said, I got a bad feeling about this, and how humorous that is.
Yes. It kills the mood. Absolutely. Because, you know.
I mean, we're not trying to be like purist prudes here, you know, like
No, but you really gotta take into consideration, what you're doing here. Sometimes I don't know.
Yeah, I think if you like, bringing it up again, if you go the way of like Death Troopers, and you do the same kind of things that I think were mistakes in that book, you're wasting your money. You're not achieving what you set out to achieve, because it's not going to be a horror movie anymore, and it's not going to be a Star Wars movie anymore.
Right.
I guess you could do one of those things where you do it in universe and you don't put the Star Wars title on it.
Yeah.
And you just leave the main characters be.
Absolutely.
All right. So it's been like 2 weeks since we brought up award shows. And since there's one every other day.
Yes.
That seems shocking. So the 46th annual Saturn Awards. You ever heard of the Saturn Awards?
The 46th annual? That's what I was just about to get at. Yeah, never heard of them. Is this like a UK thing?
Is it what?
I said, is this a UK thing?
No, it took place in LA.
Oh, okay. All right. Wow. Interesting.
I've never heard of it, but I mean, with a name like the Saturn Awards, I bet it's kind of a cool trophy, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
I haven't looked it up. It's probably not even. It's probably a ribbon or something.
A ribbon. A ribbon. With a
we ain't got the budget for trophies.
With a planet with a circle around it. Heck yeah.
Yep. Like we spent all our money. We got Bruce Campbell.
Right on.
So yes, there's another one. And like I'm reading the article, and it's like, I almost feel like, how do I not know what the Saturn Awards are?
Yeah.
Like, this seems like a big deal. But this is where it gets even more interesting, because this award show had allowances that, for films that were older. The eligibility period was extended.
Oh, okay.
So the eligibility period is July 15th of 2019 to November 15th of 2020.
Okay. Huh. Interesting.
So it's a weird eligibility window, considering it's 2021.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. It's okay.
You're literally, your cutoff is almost a year earlier.
Right.
So, but okay.
Yeah.
I guess you got to have time to let things marinate.
Good way of putting it, yes.
But Star Wars had a few appearances. Best science fiction film, Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
So,
I would agree. Yeah.
Okay. Best director, J.J. Abrams for Star Wars Episode 9.
Okay.
I wonder about that one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably debatable.
Did okay with what they did, but
right.
Best music, I guess it wasn't poorly directed, right?
Right. Exactly.
Poorly written. Same guy.
Yeah. Exactly. He didn't win that award, so.
Oh yeah, best writing went to Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Well, there you go. See.
Best music, of course, the maestro, John Williams.
Oh, of course.
For Star Wars Episode 9. Let's see what we got. Best makeup, Star Wars Episode 9. Best special effects, Star Wars Episode 9.
Huh.
Best presentation on television, under 10 episodes, The Mandalorian.
Of course.
Makes sense.
Rightfully so, yes.
Best animated TV series, Star Wars, The Clone Wars.
Absolutely.
No arguments here. At least they got their ducks in a row when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I mean, they could put ever right there, right? Like best animated show ever.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, that was the Star Wars Hall
Okay.
at the Saturn Awards, the whatever those are.
Yeah, what channel are those on?
Hold on, it's up here. It's up here.
Oh, it is. Oh, excellent. You don't have to really tell me. I was being a smart aleck, but you know.
I thought it was there. Maybe it's not there.
Okay.
Yep, not there. Never mind. I thought it was there because they had all this like CBS stuff on there and things like that, but that was just, it was in this series.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if this even gets aired.
That's what I was wondering, to be honest about it. You know, that doesn't necessarily take away its legitimacy or anything, but you know, it would explain why we haven't heard of it before.
Search the air date. That doesn't tell me what it aired on.
Awesome. The funny thing about that is that, you know, these days it could be YouTube or or whatever.
Right. TikTok. It aired on TikTok.
Heck yeah.
In little 15-second clips. Huh. Yeah, it's nowhere. I have no idea.
Interesting.
But they've had 46 of them.
That's the kicker part right there.
Never heard of it. It's been done 46 times.
Right.
Whew. Sorry, my nose is itching a little bit there.
No problem.
All right. Last up. Aiden Christensen. This guy. This guy goes to a couple conventions and now he's going to be in everything.
I was just going to say he's back in the thick of it. Yeah, for sure.
So the Hollywood Reporter is reporting that Hayden Christensen is scheduled to reprise his role as Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I guess they say Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader.
Okay.
In the upcoming Ahsoka series.
Ahsoka series. Okay. We all knew about the Obi-Wan thing, right?
Yep.
But this is different.
I mean, the Obi-Wan thing, I mean, you could have pretty much just thrown a dart, like, yep, he's going to be in it.
Yeah, exactly.
This one, I guess it makes sense, right? Like,
yeah, I mean,
you can make an appearance in some capacity.
I could see how it would work. Say that for sure.
I don't see him showing up as Darth Vader.
No.
He's dead at this time.
Right. Yeah, I thought about that momentarily. Yes. And so therefore we have to assume that it's going to be a flashback scenario.
Yeah. And I don't anticipate too many Ahsoka Darth Vader interactions.
Right.
I think they leave the Sith Temple fight as the only meeting.
Makes sense.
I just don't see them having another meeting between Ahsoka and Vader. I think this is where you start to weaken the character of Darth Vader.
Right.
He can't go getting foiled too much, right?
Exactly.
You have to be careful on where Vader gets foiled.
Yes.
Otherwise, he's just he was a sidekick that just wasn't that good at it.
Villain of the week.
Right.
Yeah, you can't do that with Vader.
At the same time, you can't have Ahsoka. It's not going to be as meaningful for Ahsoka each time she interacts, right?
Right.
I feel like Ahsoka is one of those characters that has been proven to be more level-headed than any Jedi or Sith or She's just been that level-headed character. She had that interaction where she tried to talk him off the ledge. That was over.
Exactly.
There was no saving him at that point.
Right. Yeah, that's done.
So I feel like the ship would have sailed on that one.
Yeah. Where this could scare me, you're bringing it up actually, is, of course, this is the guy though, right? I mean, Dave's involved. So this isn't really other people trying to play in his sandbox. So I guess where I was going with that doesn't pan out, but because sometimes you have this scenario where, people want to leave their mark on Star Wars kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
I think Dave's writing that series, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Dave Filoni's the writer.
I mean, Ahsoka is his character, right? So, I mean, it was George's character, but
I was going to say
Dave kind of adopted her.
Dave made the character.
Yeah, for sure.
George created the character.
Yes.
Dave fleshed out the character.
Yeah. Yeah. Dave made Ahsoka.
Albeit with, George was there, right?
Of course. Dave did make
Dave's
Ahsoka
been at the helm since George's departure.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think flashbacks?
It's got to be flashbacks.
Force Ghost?
It could be Force Ghost, but I think flashbacks is, kind of more, I don't know, that might be more impactful to me because it's Ahsoka remembering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see flashbacks. I think it's going to be a little more muted. I don't think you're going to see Hayden Christensen in this show.
You don't think you're going to see him at all?
No.
So you think this story is just bogus?
No. I absolutely think you're going to hear Hayden Christensen in the show.
Just voice work, huh?
Yep. I believe you would hear him speaking to Ahsoka in like a meditative state, something like that.
Interesting. So here's my question for you. I don't want this taken the wrong way, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Are you a little bit nervous about how these characters may come across? I mean, the interactions of Anakin and Ahsoka that we have are Matt Lanter and Ashley Eckstein. Are you a little nervous that it might not come across the same way or the way that we are familiar with?
I'll say this. If they do a flashback, I really hope that there's voiceover work accompanied and that you have Matt and Ashley.
Oh. Huh. Interesting thought.
I feel like if you go that route, one, Rosario, everything worked out because you think about, Ahsoka a little more aged, right?
Right.
There's a few more years from the last time we saw her.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, I can see this being the next progression.
Right.
I know I have to reach a point where I'm going to have to sever my ties, right? Like,
yeah, you got to let it go, right? It's
my loyalty to the Clone Wars. I got to let it go.
Yes.
Because it's not always going to work out for live action.
Right.
Especially as they move more of these characters into live action.
Yep.
But at the same time, you look back on last season, it's Katie Sackhoff.
Right. Yes.
And I gotta say, that was so seamless.
Agreed. I totally agree with that.
I mean, there was not 1 second. Like, the second she spoke, you see her, the character was already modeled after her.
Yep.
If you look at Ahsoka, I mean, Ashley kind of fits the bill, right? Like,
Yes. Absolutely. Especially in my mind, the adult, Rebels Ahsoka.
right. I mean, hell, even Matt Lanter kind of looks like Anakin, right? Like,
Right.
it's kind of wild how this is working out.
Yeah.
Now, James Arnold Taylor doesn't look at all like Ewan, but
True.
but that guy's a different animal, right? Like,
Yes.
he doesn't look like Johnny Test either. So, I don't know. I don't know that it would bother me, to be
Okay.
completely honest. One, because Matt was filling the shoes, right?
Right.
Hayden is Anakin.
True. It would bother
I
me.
can't go having a problem with that one.
Right. It would bother me less with Hayden. It will for sure bother me less, but it's, it's a fanboy's loyal dedication to a character, I guess you could call it. It's and the actor
Well,
who
Matt-
portrayed it.
Matt Lanter earned our respect, right? Like,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you want to talk about fleshing out a character? He's the one who really fleshed out that character in the Clone Wars.
I mean, we've spent more time with Matt Lanter as Anakin than Hayden,
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that.
but at the same time, Hayden's Anakin.
Right. Yep. You'll get no argument there from me.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Hayden at Celebration. He walked out. I was like, man, he still looks like Anakin.
Of course he does. He is Anakin.
I'm just happy he's back, right? Like,
Right.
but I know just as well. I mean, one phone call to Matt will be back. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I do really want to. I guess the big hang up. I'm right there with you. I do want to see Ashley have a part in this.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I don't-
Ashley is literally, until Rosario, she was the only Ahsoka
Right.
through all of Ahsoka's life stages.
Yes. Exactly.
So, as much as it's like, well, it's Hayden getting his respect, coming back. It's the same for Ashley.
Right.
I'd like to see her play a part. If they do a flashback scene, I'd love to see her play a part.
Yeah. That's where it makes your voiceover thing interesting, for sure. I'm not sure how they would make all that work together, but
Oh, they won't. I have no delusions about that.
Oh, that's funny.
I just voiced my desire, right? Like,
Yes. Yes, I get it.
if they do it, I'll be shocked. But I mean, Ashley's already made an appearance as Ahsoka's voice later than all this.
That's true. That is very true. Yeah. In that movie that just won all those Saturn Awards.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably why, right? It's
Exactly. It's all because
Ashley's
of,
voice.
that's
Like,
right.
So I don't know. What do you think about a flashback scene anyway? Because I mean, obviously they're going to have to utilize de-aging and things like that.
Do they? I mean, are you talking about for Anakin then?
Yeah,
Hey, you said it.
they got to do some.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, granted, these makeup artists and stuff are fantastic,
right.
but I feel like they'd have to do some.
Well,
And they would definitely have to do some with Rosario.
and why do you say that?
I mean, I guess once again with the makeups and prosthetics, they can change things up, but she looks like an older Ahsoka.
Oh, I got you.
I didn't see Rosario as Ahsoka on there and say, "Oh wow, she looks just like Clone Wars era Ahsoka."
For sure,
She
doesn't.
don't.
Right.
She looks closer to Rebels era Ahsoka.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a drastic difference there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, I guess the advantage is she's already in a ton of makeup and prosthetics anyway.
Yeah, and I think that they might be banking on that. I got a feeling that the technology is getting good, to the point where they can use this de-aging technology on a TV show. Think about that when I say it, right? It's a TV show that we're actually getting this kind of stuff on. Mm-hmm. It's not a feature film anymore. And I think they're feeling like it's going to be good enough to work.
Yeah.
And
I don't really see a flashback scene. I already mentioned that. I don't really see it happening because I don't see how it fits, right?
Okay.
I just, unless it's going to be important for whatever Ahsoka's quest is, because there'll be something.
Right.
Some goal she has in this show. I don't see a connection to, well, never mind. Hold on.
Yeah.
She was asking about a certain character.
Yeah.
Thrawn.
Yeah.
Who Anakin had a decent amount of dealing with.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. That's from books.
Canon.
Yeah.
Books though.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely true. I mean, that could work in my book right there.
I could almost see her looking back to Anakin's recollection of what he did out there.
Right.
Because, knowing the character Ahsoka, she's going to be grilling him.
Yeah, and you know what? This could be the point where Ahsoka finds out, I mean, I think she's already got her suspicions, but I mean, it's all confirmed about Anakin and Padme and all that kind of stuff,
Right. I think she knew.
Yeah. But it's confirmed, right? It's like your parents do stuff you don't want to know.
Right.
I mean,
okay.
I'm just saying.
And on that note,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of possibility here, and I really wasn't open to a whole flashback thing because it's like I don't see how it'd be pertinent. But knowing she's after Thrawn, yeah, I could see her trying to recall,
right,
to glean any bit of information from her past into what Thrawn might be doing.
Yeah, I mean, she'll utilize whatever resource she can get, right?
Mm-hmm.
That only makes sense.
I just really hope she's not talking to the helmet.
I got a feeling that will not happen.
This is a bit of a sidetrack.
Yeah.
But, the creepiest thing about the helmet?
What's that?
I mean, you look at how mangled it is and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't you just assume the skull's still in there, like the head's still in there?
It would almost have to be, wouldn't it? Because
yeah, I mean, how are you going to get that out of there?
Exactly. Yeah, you'd have to tear it apart to get the skull out. Wow. Interesting thought, Joe.
Like, just creepy, right?
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. Yeah.
That dude's literally talking to Anakin's head.
Yeah. Wow. I never considered that.
I know there'll probably be this. Oh well, that skull turned to dust. Like that helmet's in pretty good shape.
Exactly. It wasn't that long ago.
Right. But I mean, to say that like everything inside it turned to dust, like turned to ash, that thing's in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Considering.
Yeah, for sure.
And it ain't Beskar, right? Like
right. Clearly not.
Beskar would have come out shining.
Yeah.
Like, haha. You can only melt me on a hot plate.
Right.
All right. Well, this was fun.
Yeah.
Got weird.
Got weird. Got weird, for sure. Definitely got weird.
But if you have anything to add, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media, @thewarsandmore on Twitter, facebook.com/thewarsandmore. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
Nope. Keeping my mouth shut.
All right. We will talk next week.